New home and still no Wi-Fi. And the PS Portal needs a constant internet connection to even be able to use it. This sucks. What am I gonna do? I'm so bored. So when we moved into our new home, and due to it being a brand new home, there was no internet, which really sucked. So one of my girlfriend friends lended me their Nintendo Switch. This thing right here. And I cannot believe that I have never used a Nintendo Switch before. This thing made me literally fall in love with gaming all over again and brought out that childhood gamer in me. Hey everyone, it's Morris. Welcome back to the channel. So the original Switch has been around for over 7 years now. We've got the Switch Lite, we've got the Switch OLED, and a Switch 2. But today I want to talk about this little guy right here. The original LCD Switch, the one that launched in 2017 with the chunky bezels, the wobbly kickstand, and the tiny 32 gigabytes storage. And in this video, I want to share why the original Switch LCD still rocks in late 2025 going into a new year 2026, what makes it special, what its flaws are, and whether or not it's still worth picking up, especially if you're on a budget or you just want to fall back in love with games. Let's get into it. The Switch has quietly become one of the best-selling consoles of all time. And it kind of did it by just existing in its own lane, basically. While PlayStation and Xbox fight over 4K high frame rates, ray tracing, and giant installs, the Switch is like over here, like, here's Mario, here's Zelda, here's Pokemon. Take it on the couch, on the bus, or in the bed and just have fun. And that's where the original Switch model really shines. Even though there are obviously better handheld hardware out there, the core idea of the Switch, this hybrid between using a dock or taking it handheld, still feels absolutely genius even in late 2025 going into a new year of 2026. And if you're anything like me and you've felt a bit burnt out by serious gaming, the Switch is the perfect reset. Let's talk about what you actually get with the original Switch. You get a 6.2-inch LCD screen which outputs 720p in handheld and up to 1080p when you dock it to a monitor or your TV. It also has detachable Joy-Cons, that tiny kickstand on the back, 32 gigabytes of internal storage, and the classic Switch dock. On paper, in 2025, none of these specs sounds impressive. The screen is just okay. I mean, the bezels are a bit thick, and 32 gigabytes of storage can get eaten up pretty fast depending on how many games you install. But here's the thing. Once you load up Mario Kart, Breath of the Wild, or even Animal Crossing, you stop thinking about specs entirely. The Switch doesn't try to be any high-end gaming PC. It tries to be a fun little machine that fits into your life, and that's exactly why it's still so perfect and it still works. Another thing I absolutely love about the Switch LCD is just how effortless it is to use in dock mode and play games with other people. You want to play some multiplayer? Well, just pull off the Joy-Cons off the console and you already have 2 controllers. There's something about playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Mario Kart with friends or family on a big TV that just feels nostalgic, like how gaming used to be before everything became online only and hyper competitive. Now, don't get me wrong, playing Mario Kart is still hyper competitive, but in a more family-friendly way, I'd say. Now, I'm not going to pretend that the original LCD screen is better than the Switch 2 or even the OLED, because it's not. And I'm sure there are a bunch of other devices out there that are handhelds that have better specs and screen. But here's what I think gets lost in those comparisons. The 720p on a 6.2-inch screen actually looks pretty good, especially for Nintendo's colorful art style. When you're gliding off a tower in Zelda or drifting around a corner in Mario Kart, or collecting things in Super Mario Wonder, you're not sitting there counting pixels, and docked gaming is almost identical. Of course, the original Switch LCD is far from perfect. For instance, the kickstand is not great at all. It's flimsy and not very stable. The ergonomics of the grips could also be better, especially for me that has gotten so used to gaming on the PS Portal, which in my opinion has fantastic ergonomics because it's basically a DualSense controller with a screen on it. It works, but the OLED's full width stand absolutely destroys it, for instance. Also, storage can be a bit tight. Realistically, you'll want a micro SD card pretty quickly if you're someone who buys digital games only. Personally, I really love the physical cartridges of the Nintendo games. But with all that being said, here's why I still love the Switch. In spite of all that, none of these things stop it from being a pure joy to play. So here's the reason why the Switch literally made me fall in love with gaming again. You see, before experiencing the Switch, I found myself kind of burnt out on gaming. On your typical Xbox or PS5, every game felt like a big commitment. You have 100 gigabytes updates, 40 minutes cutscenes, battle passes, live service on everything. And I know it depends on the game you're playing, but for those consoles, you tend to play those big AAA games. It all started to feel like a project, not a break. The Switch, however, completely flipped that around for me. Suddenly, gaming became pick up and play for 15 minutes, put it down and do something else. Start a race in Mario Kart, complete a dungeon in Zelda, do some few levels in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It all just became quick and easy to hop in and hop out of without any real hard commitment. And there's something about holding this tiny little console and seeing characters such as Mario and Zelda running around on a small screen that just feels super cozy. While gaming, I was never worried about performance metrics. I wasn't grinding any battle pass. I was just playing games and having fun again, like I used to when I was a bit younger, playing on my Game Boy. And that's why I think the Switch LCD still rocks. It might not have an OLED panel, it might not be the newest version, but it nails the feeling of simple, joyful gaming. And I promise you, when you're carrying around huge boxes into your new home with no internet around and you only have like 10 to 15 minutes to game, well, the Switch LCD is basically perfect. Is the original Switch LCD still worth it in 2025? Well, the answer is absolutely yes. This thing is a perfect gift for any gamer out there. If you can find a super good deal on this thing, or even just borrow it from a friend or family member for a while, I promise you're gonna notice how fantastic this little device is. If you're on a budget, it's perfect. If you're not bothered about having the latest and greatest tech, this device is perfect. And if you want to reignite that childhood love for gaming, this is, in my opinion, a fantastic way to start. It's not the newest, but sometimes the console that matters most is the one that makes you fall in love with gaming again. And for me, that was this one right here, the Switch LCD. Now, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button and hey, maybe even hit subscribe. Thanks for watching and I catch you in the next one. Peace.